Hello and welcome to episode 112 of Ready to Mosh. I'm Kev P, and alongside me is the cock to my womble. It's Gem G.
No idea where that was going. Hold on, I'm the cock to your womble. Okay. More likely the other way around, I think. As in, I like to tidy like wombles do. I am a womble.
Anyway, this episode is a collection of things that just really irritate the shit out of us. Gigs, festivals, the places we like to be at.
Yes, and to make ourselves feel a little bit better, and is it just us? Is it not just us? We also put a post out asking what gets other people gig goats and all of that. And so we have some listener stroke follower comments to add into this as we go through as well, because we got way more response than we expected on that one.
Yeah, it definitely struck a nerve, didn't it?
Yeah, I was expecting maybe one or two at most, and yeah, we've got quite a lot, and there is a bit of a theme. So it just validates our irritations. So, where are we starting? Who's going first? Is this going to build to a crescendo, or are we starting off mild? Or
I'm just going to go with a few that I've got, and then we'll go through a few of the comments and see what's in there.
Yeah, okie dokie. Go on then.
Okay, first one is people who talk incessantly through gigs, festivals, and they're always in prime viewing spots.
They're not always in prime viewing spots.
I give Stone Dead as an example.
I've got another experience with this. This is obviously one of mine as well, and one that's come up a lot in the comments.
Yeah.
Particularly acoustic gigs or songs as well.
Irritates the shit out of me.
Yeah.
That happened at Wednesday 13 when he did the Bourbon Crow stuff.
Yeah, his what does he call it? The one where he does the acoustic show and
the Unplugged.
Live Undead and Unplugged, isn't it? Yeah. And tells stories and
people just talking all the way through it.
Yeah, I think this was at the rescue rooms, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
And I think we stood in about 5 different places, and they didn't have the balcony open because it obviously hadn't sold enough for the balcony to be open, I guess.
But what was funny was that when he finished, did he do his stuff first and then Bourbon Crow?
Yeah.
And he did his stuff first. And it seemed a lot of the people who were talking when he was telling stories, once that bit had finished, they all left.
Yeah, there's like a bit of a break, wasn't there? So we actually moved nearer the front for Bourbon Crow.
Yeah.
Expecting people to come back, and a lot didn't, which
blows my mind. It's like they're that big of a fan, they don't know that's his other band.
Yeah. But this is actually one of my examples. At one point we were stood, if anyone knows rescue rooms, we were stood kind of at the bottom of the stairs where you go up to the balcony.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't a prime spot at all. We could just about see, but we thought it might be quieter.
Yeah.
But there was somebody on their phone having a chat with someone about what they were going to watch on Netflix next. I'm like, why are you even here?
Yeah.
Like, what is your purpose? In live, never mind at a Wednesday 13 gig. And we stood next to the bar thinking that might be quieter. It wasn't. That was even worse. So, I think we're actually on the verge of leaving at one point.
I think we were. We said we'll give it kind of like 5-10 minutes in the second half. And as it turned out, a lot of those irritants left.
Yeah. I think if it hadn't have been for the fact that there was then the Bourbon Crow set after, if it had just been Wednesday, then we could have potentially just left.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what kept us there. But yeah, Stone Dead's another one, isn't it?
Yeah. Happens all the time at Stone Dead.
Yeah, which we ranted about in our Stone Dead review.
We did. And I just don't get it. If you want to talk to people, fine. But don't do it that, when people are trying to enjoy a set, just don't do it. Don't stand right near the front in a good position and then just start talking shit.
And another one I just want to specifically shout out that really annoyed me was last time we saw Enter Shikari at Rock City. And in the middle of the set, Rao did a solo acoustic
about that, yeah.
rendition of Constellations.
Yeah.
And people were talking, and even he was telling them to shut the fuck up because he started the song and people were still talking, so he stopped and people were still talking. I'm like, why have you paid to come to see Enter Shikari?
And then talk.
And bearing in mind this gig was one that was postponed due to COVID. So you've been waiting a long time to see it. And
it was like, wasn't it? It's like an 18-month delay to watch it. It was a hell of a long time.
I can't remember because I know it was supposed to be in December and it was like the last 2 dates of the tour got postponed till May, but I can't remember if December had been postponed. I think it had, hadn't it? I think it was about the third.
It was about the third offering, yeah.
So you've been waiting that long as well for this gig, and you're talking,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I just don't get it.
no, and that was like across the venue. It wasn't in one specific pot
No,
spot.
it was across the balcony, across the floor. I think the floor was worse.
quite
Actually.
probably, yeah. I guess because people on the floor, there's more condensed people, so people are shouting more. If you know what I mean, you know, when it's just that knock-on effect that one person's talking, so then someone talks louder, then they talk louder, then they talk louder, and but yeah, I think that is definitely one of the big ones.
And what's your next one?
Mine is generally kind of people with no spatial awareness and just standing in front of you. And that kind of, you know, I'm not calling out specifically tall people because it can be people the same height as me and all of, do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean
Kind of. It's different for me because I'm a lot taller than you.
you are? I mean, I think I'm relatively tall for a girl
Yeah.
compared to a lot of others. But if I ever I mean, we rarely stand in crowds really because we're usually,
It's only at festivals usually.
yeah, like a lot of venues, if there's a balcony, we'll generally try and get on there. An arena, we're probably going to be in seats because we're all
Because we're old bastards, yeah.
But so it's very rare at normal venues, I guess, that we're in that position. It's mainly at a festival. But if I do kind of worm my way through a crowd to stand in a particular spot, I'm always conscious of who I'm standing in front of.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same on that. I'm 6'1", 6'2", and I know it's really fucking irritating when somebody just stands right in front of you. So I have an awareness that I could
Yes.
be ruining it for somebody. But it is even that doesn't mean I'm immune to it because I get people standing in front of me who are taller than me.
Mm.
So well, what the fuck are you doing, you prick?
Yes.
It's like you are right in front of me.
Yeah. And I think it's just like that spatial awareness. And I know in a crowd, you're going to be a bit squished, but people who try and squeeze in a tiny gap in front of you as well, it's just no.
Yeah.
I need breathing space. You know what I mean, I don't want to be breathing on the back of someone's head. And it's, yeah.
Something that really irritates me is people trying to push through after they've turned up late. They've not seen any of the other bands. They probably missed like the first third of the set by the headline band, and they're just trying to force their way through. It's like you're not getting in front of me.
Yeah.
There is no room for you to get in.
That's on my list as well. Again, it's one that we don't necessarily personally encounter a lot ourselves now, I guess. Although I did get it at Ghost at Download, definitely.
Mm.
But it's funny when you're on a balcony, you can see people doing it.
Yeah, and then they get to a point, and then there's somebody like me that just I'm not fucking moving.
Or it's when a specific song starts playing, and then people are like, right, I've got to get in there for this one.
Oh, I had that at Leeds when I saw the Eagles. Not the Eagles, the 70s band,
yeah.
the Eagles.
Schools.
And I think it's a song called Best Friend. And from nowhere, everybody just poured in and then fucked off when it left. It's like you forced your way in for that one song and gone, what the fuck?
Yeah. And I think one of my favourite examples of this actually was Guns N' Roses at Download.
Okay.
And I remember, I mean, we got separated because you went to watch Parkway before, didn't you? And I was watching Blackstone Cherry, and then all signal died. I got adopted by a random couple who were determined to help me find you, even though I was fine on my own.
Mm.
Anywho, we found each other, didn't we?
Yeah.
And I just remember we were standing relatively close-ish to
Oh
the
shit,
front.
I know what you're going to say, yeah.
And there was just this group. Was there one or two lads who tried to get through?
There's two of them, yeah.
And there was you, and then there were these three blokes dressed as Axl Rose in the wigs and the bandanas, and you just all got in this line, like formed a barricade and just wouldn't let them go anywhere. And it was just hilarious.
Yeah, I do remember that. They were, because it wasn't that we were doing it to be dicks. They were being dicks to start with because they were just pushing people out of the way.
Exactly. And it was so packed that there was nowhere they could have gone. And that's just what irritates me.
Yeah.
When it's like, you ain't going nowhere, so stop it.
Yeah, they couldn't. A similar thing happened when I was watching Blink at Leeds. I was right at the front, and this guy came like halfway through the set, was really trying to force his way through. I just turned around and looked at him and went, "You're going fucking nowhere." And he looked at me and then just fucked off.
Yeah. One of these, it's a bit linked to my other one about people standing in front of you. And it's almost a bit of a counter to what a lot of other people have said about people filming at gigs. And I absolutely agree, don't film the whole gig. I might be adding two in at this point, I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's when people stand in front of, I'm referring to one specific person, and I think if we had a Dick of the Year award for last year, this would have been this person. We might have it at this year's end of year review, but particularly at festivals, when you stand and you're filming a bit of a band, and very often if I spot someone's filming something, I'll bob down in front of them, and loads of people do it to me. I've seen people do it to me, and it's fine. People will walk in front of you because, they're just oblivious. They're talking to someone, and that's fine. Not got a problem with. This bloke at Download, when I was watching Hot Milk, literally saw me filming and came and stood straight in front of me on purpose. And I'm going to share that footage because I've been meaning to do it, haven't I, since?
Okay.
Do you remember me showing it you?
I don't, well, yeah.
He literally is looking right at me, walking up to me, and purposefully stands there right in front of me.
Yeah.
So anyway, people who purposefully block your view when filming. A clip of a song, not a whole set.
That's the point, isn't it? It's not the whole set.
Yeah.
Because that is one that is an irritation when there are people just constantly filming.
Yeah, I'll do like maybe 30 seconds to a minute of probably my favourite songs here and there. So there's a bit of a compilation.
Yeah.
And that is it. That's all I'll do. And I'm always conscious of not putting my phone too far up and blocking people's view behind me.
That is the bit that irritates me when people do just stick the phones up and it's like, well, nobody else can see now because they're doing that.
I'll always try and keep it as low as I can to still get a view. Obviously, if I'm on a balcony or something, it's irrelevant because...
it makes no difference.
Yeah. So, and even when we've had like press at festivals and stuff, and I've been filming at the front, I've even then still been conscious of keeping the actual camera out of people's way where I can. So anyway, look out for the footage of last year's Download Dick of the Year.
One of the things that irritates me, I mean, there are many things that irritate me, but another one of the things is when you're queuing in the rain and the doors don't open on time and there's no reason.
Oh, I've not got that one.
And why don't they? Especially when when they know something's going to overrun, do what they did at Massive Wagons: get somebody scanning tickets, stamp in hands.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the doors do open, you can just let people in.
Yeah, I think that's one of the worst things if you don't know that why.
Yeah. It's just that lack of communication. It's like, I understand things don't always go smoothly. But even still, if you're running a venue, doesn't it make more sense for you to just get people in? Because Rock City, for instance, it blocks off one side of the street completely when people are queuing.
It does, yeah.
So people have to walk into the road, and it goes right around the corner. And it's like you could actually run this really smoothly. Just get somebody going up, scanning, stamp, scan, stamp, scan, stamp. And you'll get people in quicker. They'll be buying drinks more. It just makes more sense.
Yeah, I'd not even thought about that as a thing, but it is a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, what's my next one? I'm trying to look through my list that we've mentioned or we've not mentioned yet. People with big bags in festival crowds.
Yeah, they're just kind of like they've got no concept of how big that bag is or who they're hitting with it.
I'm specifically referring to someone who stood in front of me at Ghost at Download with a huge rucksack. My first point is, how did they even get that in there? Because you're only supposed to have an A4 bag in there. And I'm talking, obviously you can't see my hands moving, but it was like a full on, not a camping, rucksack, but it was a full...
It was still bigger than what you were allowed to take in.
I mean, this means nothing to anyone, but it's a bit like your work rucksack. It was like that, but full. So it was a good 6 inches deep.
It's a cabin size.
It was like having a small turtle in front of me. Well, actually, no, a giant turtle, because turtles are small.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like they had a shell over them. And every time they moved, they kept bashing me. So I kept bashing them back. And eventually she did swap places with a mate at the other side. But honestly, it was just, no need for it. I get that it's Sunday night. You're probably going home straight after. Or straight after Mary on a Cross in that person's case, but that's another tale. People who only watch bands for certain songs.
Is that another one that's just come to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, why?
Spatial awareness.
It's up there with the spatial awareness thing, isn't it, again?
Yeah. Eggy, rancid farts.
I've got people who fart in crowds. I haven't been that specific.
You know the sort, though, don't you? You'll be stood there and you could just vomit straight away. Yeah. It is fucking rank, especially when it's a hot indoor venue.
Ooh.
The aircon's not on yet because the headline band's not come on, and somebody's done the
Yeah.
worst fart.
And you're looking around thinking, it's not
It's
me.
not me. Who the fuck's done it?
And you don't want to make it look like you're trying to make out it's not you to hide the fact it was you.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. But you want to make it clear it's not you.
Yeah. It's just horrid. Really bad. Hate that.
Ugh, yeah. Oh, it's making me feel a bit sick
Queasy,
thinking
yeah.
about it. Ooh. This is one that we did rant about. I ranted about. I think we both did actually in our download review this year. But people in the tents at festivals not watching the band. Again, it links to the people talking when the band is on. And, you know, as we said in the download review, no offense to people who want to get some shade if it's hot.
Dry if it's wet. Yeah.
Exactly. But when you can't even actually watch the band because people are not even facing the stage, they're clearly not there showing any.
Oh, sorry, I'm with you now. People. Well, you said people in tents. I was thinking.
Well, people are supposed to go to the tents to watch the bands.
No, it just really confused me because I thought you meant their own tents, not the venue tents.
No, for example, Sophie tent at Bloodstock, Dogtooth at Download, Avalanche, etc. You know, when they're actually standing with their back to the band on stage talking and whatever, and you're trying to actually watch the band.
Yeah, and you can't get any further.
Yeah,
because they're in the way.
You know, sitting down and you're tripping over them, and then they're complaining that you're tripping over them, but it's like, but you're sat on the floor in the middle of the tent.
Yeah.
You know, if I sit on the floor in the middle of a crowd or whatever, I expect to be trod on.
Yeah.
I'll probably scowl if someone does it in my head, but I'll be like, oh, you know, my fault, I'm in the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, a good example of the way to do it was kind of Bloodstock, where we'd sit down in the tent in Serpent's Lair when it was empty.
Yeah.
And as soon as certain bands are finished and there's a massive influx of people, it's just better to stand up. It's just easier, safer.
Yeah, because I think we were sat on the floor at one point just having a drink, and then it started raining, so everyone flooded in, and we were just completely crowded. It's like, I'm going to stand up or I'm going to get trampled.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's just, yeah.
Common sense.
Common sense lacking.
One of the things we'd already kind of talked about was that I'd got next was really tall people standing, you know, in front of you, kind of blocking your view. But another one, standing in seated areas, fucking irritates me. Yes, you're guilty of this.
I am, but again, I am always conscious of who's around me. So, for example, at Ghost, we were on the back row of Manchester Arena, or the block that we were in, weren't we? So I wasn't blocking anyone's view. I was probably irritating the shit out of the blokes out the side of me, but apologies. But yeah, or if people behind you stand up, like for example, my most recent one I think was Hollywood Vampires. So certain songs, everyone would stand up, so you just automatically stand up and have a bop. But then there was those two girls, which I think I said in the review, were further forward in the block, and they stood up through the whole thing, which wasn't personally blocking my view, but the people right behind them couldn't see.
Yeah, I'd have thrown them over the fucking balcony.
So, yeah, but then again, at, say Volbeat, for example, I think I did sit for most of it. I think I stood up during Skindred because you can't. What's the wafty?
Newport helicopter.
That's the wafty.
The wafty thing. It's a cracker.
I hope Benji never hears that. But you can't do that sat down without injuring the person at the side of you. So,
me.
You know, yeah. But again, so I do it, but only if it's not harming anyone else.
So, still irritates me.
Yeah, and I am concerned about having to do that at Shikari, to be honest, because they're not a band to sit still to. We'll see how that goes. It makes you sound really old, you know, saying that.
I know. I am old. Don't care.
True. People pondering over merch. You get to the front of the queue. So mostly, if you're buying merch at a festival or a gig, I know you can't always at Rock City because of the way the merch is, but... And a lot of time people share pictures of merch in advance, don't they? Unless it's obviously the first night.
Yeah.
But you have a rough idea of what you want to buy and you can see what is available. And people get to the front and they just stand there and go, oh, I might have that one. Can I have a look at that one? And
oh, yeah, that irritates
me. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're just holding up the queue, especially when it's somewhere like Download where you're having to wait a long time in the middle of the queue anyway.
Least, yeah.
If you're queuing an hour for merch or whatever, unless you get to the front and it's sold out, which again links to probably another thing that if...
Yeah, we should have... I forgot all about that, yeah.
Festival merch, it has happened in places. Bloodstock, I think, did it. maybe. I can't. I've seen it somewhere, and they'll put sold out, or they'll say Wednesday 13 actually on the merch there. It only said what sizes were still available. So
Bloodstock, you were right, it was Bloodstock.
yeah, just
Yeah.
having to look at and inspect everything before you say you want it, and you're not in Aldi looking at fruit.
Yeah. It's especially irritating for me because I know what I want.
Yeah, that's what me and I usually do.
Yeah, can I have a tour t-shirt XL? Thank very much.
Yeah.
Away you go.
Like I don't need to stroke it and test it and whatever.
Just give me the right size. I'll give you the money.
Or go, oh, can I have a look at that one? Yeah, just make your mind up, people. You're holding the queue up, you know.
In a similar vein to that, I'm going to say people who get served at the bar and then spend the next 15 minutes deciding what they want to drink. I drink. Get the fuck out of my way. I'm very thirsty.
Yeah, I kind of get that in some, if it's a venue you've not been to and you're not 100% sure what, but you'll have an idea. You want a cider. So
yeah, you want a cider or a lager or you want beer.
Yeah.
We had it at Wagons. Somebody spent, it must have been 10 minutes going, oh, so you don't have wine up here? No.
Oh, at Rescue Rooms.
At Rescue Rooms, yeah, when I saw Wagons. Like, no, just fucking pick something and fuck off.
Yeah.
You're irritating the shit out of me.
And to be honest, I get quite conscious of if there is a queue, I'm holding the queue up. So I'm just like, give me anything. If I say, have you got, I don't usually drink wine. I don't usually drink wine at gigs. Who am I kidding?
Yeah.
At small gigs, it's arena juice. But I'm just like, oh, it did happen, I think. I did ask for some wine at Rock City once and they didn't have it or whatever, or I can't remember. So I was just like, oh, I'll just have that instead.
Yeah, I'm quite easy with, I'm happy with most alcoholic drinks. And I will pick something within, I already know what I want by the time I've got to the bar. So there should be a queue for people who are indecisive and a queue for people who know what they want.
Yeah, I mean, I am generally indecisive. I like to order off an app so I can pick through the options. But yeah, if I'm on the spot, I'll just be like, whatever. I think, is that all of mine done?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think everything on my actual written down list, but I feel like I have missed things. Have you got more on your list?
I've got a few more, yeah.
Go on then.
One of them, security not using common sense.
Okay.
I'll give you two specific examples.
Oh, I've got one of those.
Plastic bottles when we watched Ghost.
That was funny.
So we bought a bottle of wine, which was a plastic bottle with plastic cups, and then got told, oh, you can't, once we'd been sat there and been drinking it for like 30 minutes, oh, no, you can't drink that in there. Yeah. Why? Because it's a bottle. It's plastic.
No, but the reasoning was that she told us, bearing in mind she'd seen us walk past and get to our seats with said bottle, it was production request in the front two blocks weren't allowed any bottles. So I think this may be some kind of phobia of bottles from the band.
Unless I'm Steve Backley.
I know.
There is no fucking way I could have got anywhere near the stage with that
Yeah,
bottle.
I know that. She's obviously doing that. It was the way she did it as well, though.
She was just a cunt about it.
She was. Yeah, it was hilarious.
Another one.
Yeah.
The car queuing at Stone Dead, because that irritated the fuck out of me.
Yeah, we were.
And there were a few comments about that as well, weren't there?
Yeah.
We posted about it. And
possibly either on the vlog or a review episode. Yeah, at least one of the person said that was their annoyance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think inconsistency of security bugs me as well.
Yeah, I completely agree on that. And you see security let people in with a fuck ton of stuff. Yeah. And then you see somebody else take one thing. It's like, oh, no, you can't say that.
What, giant bags at download?
Yeah, exactly.
Stacks in the arena. The other random one of that as well is when they go down to the nth degree and they're looking inside your lipstick.
Oh, yeah, that happened.
You were expecting to find in there. And that was for Volbeat, Skindred, Napalm Death, and then went to the arena for something else. Gajira, Alien Weaponry, and Employed to Serve. Didn't even look in my bag.
No, it is the inconsistency.
Yeah.
Another one I've got is when you're at your tent. So I understand everybody wants to play music. Totally get that. Don't buy massive fucking speakers so that it's actually louder than the festival.
And play shite.
And play shit music.
I know who you're referring to.
Yeah, you do know I'm referring to. But
yeah.
But yeah, don't do it. Play it loud enough for you and your party to enjoy.
Yeah.
Not everybody wants to listen to your music.
Yeah.
Especially when it's fucking shit.
Exactly.
Have you got any others?
I'm just thinking, any other camping one? Because I don't think I'd really got as far as thinking about camping.
I've got one other that is camping related, and it's people who pitch tents that close to yours you can't get out or barely get out.
Oh, you had that at
I had that at
Glastonbury, didn't you?
Glastonbury. Now, I understand, it gets very busy at Glastonbury, and I was in a prime position, but I literally had a gap, maybe the width of my 1 foot,
You've got big
as in
feet.
my feet, not a
Yeah.
foot of unit.
Your foot is about a foot, though.
In length, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking the width of my foot.
Oh, the width of your foot.
Yeah, that's how close it was pitched. And yeah, that just irritated the shit out of me. Just got everything set up nicely, and then we'd been out. Me and Dan had been everywhere around Glastonbury that we couldn't manage in that day. Came back, and it was, especially when it's fucking pitch black as well. You can't see shit. Yeah, just irritates me.
We did actually have that at Bloodstock as well, didn't we? Thinking about
We did
it.
have it
In
at Bloodstock,
Serpents,
yeah.
Someone at the start, someone was putting their tent up. We left a bit of a gap and put ours up and thought that's fine. And then they squeezed another tent between theirs and ours,
Yeah.
which didn't affect any of our exits because we were the front and the other side for the side exit. But yeah,
It's the same kind of thing, yeah.
we were touching canvas. Is that the right word? Yeah, touching canvas.
Yeah, it's just the way you delivered it. We were touching canvas.
Yeah. Fair enough, your guy ropes are going to cross. And I'm like, oh, guy ropes, they piss me off.
I was waiting for that. The ones that do piss me off are the ones that are black.
Yeah.
The black ones, the dark green ones, and the red ones, because you can't fucking see them.
It's one thing I love about RIP, because all the tents are pretty much lined up and you go down the
path,
walkway,
yeah.
driveway, whatever the road between. You don't tend to have to go across guy ropes or Bloodstock as well in particular. That was bad for it, wasn't it? How many I kicked out. Sorry if I kicked you guy, but I learned to take my torch, didn't I, in the end? But you get it quite a bit at Stone Dead because that's a bit of a free-for-all, isn't it?
Yeah. I generally find Stone Dead is a bit better for that, though.
Yeah, people do tend to be quite spacey. You just need to, it depends where you camped, I think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And what your route is. And I think you just need to find a route that avoids them. But, yes.
Shall we have a look at some of the comments that everybody else put?
Yes, go on then. Shall we start on Instagram where we had the most?
Yeah, let's start there. So first one, like we said, tall people with no awareness for people around them.
Yeah, that was Merch Booth Pod.
Our friends Vast Slug, previous guests, came up with some absolute belters.
Yeah, I think some more serious than others.
Yeah. So some of their comments. When two midgets disguised as one person stacked on top of each other inside a raincoat, stand in front of me so I can't see.
Oh, I hate it when that happens.
Yeah. They also said people that practice circus skills like juggling or fire breathing in the middle of the pit.
Oh, yeah, no time for that. Matt Bacon of Nevermind Polly Podcast is another one who does not like phones at gigs. And in particular, he said going to the theatre recently made him appreciate how much an experience can be enchanted by not watching something through someone else's screen. Absolutely. Because you never see that at cinemas
You'd never
or
know.
comedy gigs or anything like that. Phones
We
are
saw it
always.
at an evening with Stuart Pearce.
Oh, we did, yeah. Someone was filming that, yeah.
Even though they were explicitly told not to.
Yes. I think things like that, I'll take a sneaky photo of like the stage before the
before it starts.
On. And Panto as well, you don't get it at Panto.
An interesting one is headliners that conveniently go out for a smoke break right as their support goes on stage.
Yeah, that's from Casual State Audio. So I guess that's almost a different perspective on it, I guess. Something.
Yeah, so it's almost like it's for the support band. It's like,
from a
why?
band perspective.
Yeah.
Which is quite interesting. Because one thing I do love, particularly at kind of the smaller events we go to, smaller festivals and gigs, is when you see other bands watching other bands.
Yeah.
Which you do see quite a lot, but obviously it's not always the case.
No, it's not. And it's always good when we've seen it happen at Bloodstock in the New Blood stage.
Yeah.
Seen it happen at Rescue Rooms. Seen it happen at Rock City.
Saw it at Nottingham Arena. We saw Alien Weaponry watching Gajira.
Yeah. So that's an interesting one. I'd never even considered that.
No. Another one from Merch Booth Pod. Crowd killing. So enjoy your pit. Don't go after folks who don't want to be in it. That's another reason I don't like getting too
I'd
the pit.
forgotten about that. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to be dragged in if you don't want to be.
Yeah, pricks that push people into pits when they're specifically not there to be in the pit. Yeah, another one, people being annoyed if you brush shoulders when you're trying to get to the pit.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have a problem with people trying to get past me for a particular reason, other than they've turned up late.
Yes. I think, yeah, if you brush shoulders, fair enough. But it's when people literally barge you.
Yeah.
That's what annoys me.
Mm.
Dan Browning, the people who think they've booked a spot to stand and you just happen to be in it at a standing only venue. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I don't think I've really encountered that so much, but I definitely get where he's coming from.
Mm.
Bit like people who always want to sit on a certain table in a pub. And
Yeah.
if you're sat on their table in the local,
Yeah. We
you get
always,
frowned at.
we always stand here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another one that we've covered, people talking when the band's on, or people putting a raincoat over two people so no one can see a thing. I've never seen that, I'll be honest.
No, actually, that links into a potential one that there was at Stone Dead when it was raining and people had umbrellas up, but that was between bands. And I think most people then put their umbrellas down when I think it's before South of Salem, but that would definitely be.
It has just reminded me of something that does irritate the shit out of me.
Something else.
Yeah. Well, pretty much from what you said about the umbrellas, but people who sit on people's shoulders.
Oh God, how did we not do that?
How did we not cover that?
How did we not do that one? God, yeah. Especially when it's indoors.
Yeah.
Or just sort of something else as well.
Oh God. Go on.
Have you got any more to say about this shoulders?
Well, it just fucking pisses me off.
I know occasionally a band will ask people to do it.
If a band asks you, fine. Otherwise, don't fucking do it.
But yeah, especially not when it's a small venue and something. No.
Yeah, a tiny, like, if it's like a 400 capacity venue.
Yeah.
Don't go sit on people's shoulders. Nobody else can see them.
No. I mean, it can be funny when someone starts running around and all of that, which I think has happened at Hairy Dog. I'm sure it did.
It did happen.
Yeah, no, that was funny because, again, they weren't in one place, though, were they? So they weren't just blocking out your view. Hats in indoor venues. I mean, hats irritate me at festivals.
Yeah, I know.
You know, every photo's a bucket hat. That was download 22, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I obviously understand you need to wear them to keep the sun off you, keep you dry, blah, blah, blah. But there's no need to be wearing a giant cowboy hat in a small venue.
Yeah.
Just don't, because, yeah.
No, I get that one.
I mean, people might, if I've got my hair up in a bun, people might say the same about that. I don't have high hair, but, you know, I've lost what we got to now. Rim Review 666, another one, people forcing others into the pit.
Yeah.
Or people standing near the pit with beer who get pissed over people spilling their drink by accident. Yeah. And another one for crowd killers.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're going to have a drink in a crowd, any crowd, you've got to
be prepared that it's going to happen.
Risk. You might get nudged and splosh some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we stand on the balcony and I still expect it to happen.
Yeah. Oh, that's another one. People who throw their drinks in crowds.
Oh, yeah. Why the fuck would you do that?
Yeah.
Do you know how expensive it is?
Yeah. Especially these days.
Yeah.
Just don't. Kitty Aurora, don't film the entire gig. Yep, another one of that. Oh, and Fast Slug has just said the same thing as well. Yeah. Yeah,
filming the whole fucking set on your phone. Up way too high for literally no reason.
Exactly. You don't need to hold your phone up that high if you are going to film a bit. Yeah.
Another wonderful Vast Slug one. People that get confused and think a mosh pit is a fire pit and start roasting marshmallows.
Yeah.
I love those guys.
Yeah. Yeah, and they've also reiterated the point, people talking when the band is on, fuck off outside or go to a bar if you want to have a chat. And similarly, from Jackie Pickles, talking over the band. So I think that's all the Instagram comments. Just let me check, because a couple of people replied to the story as well. This is one that I don't know if I've necessarily encountered, or don't think I have, but someone said people vaping and smoking inside. I think occasionally you do see like a vape cloud.
Yeah, you see the vape. So, yeah, so on that one, I'm a smoker and I don't do it indoors because A, it's illegal and you're on the risk of being thrown out. And B, I don't think anybody wants it.
No.
Now, the vaping thing, that does doesn't irritate me, but I'm kind of like, well, why are they allowed to do it, even though they're not allowed to do it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the level of irritation for me depends what scent it is.
Yeah,
like, it's a really sickly one. Like, no, don't. I don't want to be smelling. I'm trying to think of an example.
Yeah.
Marshmallow.
Yeah.
Or do you know what I mean? You know, the really icky ones. The
other benefit, going outside as well, which happened at Rock City. I went outside for a cigarette at Rock City because there was I think Avatar went off stage and I went down, went for a cigarette, came back, and then Johannes came running past me.
Yeah.
So the benefit is actually to go to the smoking area, because then you might actually bump into somebody who's in the band.
Yes.
Getting back to the stage.
I think the other irritation could be, though, it's like massive clouds going up in front of it. It's going to block your view, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
You don't want that. And obviously it could make your eyes water and all of that. So absolutely get that one. And then this one actually hasn't come up yet. People moaning that a band haven't played a certain song, just enjoy the fucking show.
Yeah.
Which I get. I mean, you can have your favourites that you want to hear, but don't moan if they don't play it, I think.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I completely get that. We've seen lots of bands, and there are lots of songs that either they don't play anymore or they choose not to on that particular tour.
Yeah. Or when people are shouting out a certain song constantly, like if it's on the set list, they're going to play it. They're not going to play it just because you say that. Apart from when Ugly Kid Joe played Busy Bee at Rock City because somebody was waving it up and they did actually play the intro.
Yeah. And that's all they play.
But, you know.
I'm not one for being unhappy because they've not played a certain song. I'll maybe think back and go, oh, they didn't play that.
Yeah.
I would like to have seen that again.
Yeah. Often on the way home, we'll be like, oh, they didn't play ...
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
But
well.
it doesn't matter. You've spent like 2 hours watching a band that you love.
Exactly. It's not going to completely ruin my night because they
Yeah.
will have still played X amount of songs that I do love, really. So, yeah, unless it's actually a specific request show, you know, chances
Yeah.
are they might not play every song you want them to.
Yeah, I don't expect Wagons to play the Curry song and Please Stay Calm every time I watch them
No.
because they've got a good volume of work, and whatever song they decide to play, it's going to be amazing.
Yes. And then a couple that we had on Facebook. This one actually, similar to my backpack one, but I didn't know this had ever been done, but obviously it has. People crowd surfing with backpacks on.
Yeah, I've seen that done.
I haven't, but why would you?
People crowd surfing with New Rock songs.
I was just going to say, actually, I have seen somewhere
I've
probably
seen so many people get cut open
in a
because
download group with,
download.
people with just giant chunky boots, not specifically New Rocks, but any form of chunky boot.
Yeah.
And obviously any spikage that you've got on you as well. On the back of that as well, though, don't be near the front of the stage and then complain about crowd surfers, because if you're on the barrier, especially at a festival,
it's going to
happen. You know, just whether you like it or not, it's part of the package. Okay.
Yeah. Another thing is, a lot of people complain about being jostled and pushed about when they're at the front.
Yeah.
Well, you're at the front.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Exactly.
I mean, watching Rob Zombie on the second stage, I was right at the front for that. And yeah, it happens. You kind of get used to, it's what you expect. The next day, I could barely walk for like a few hours, but it comes with the territory. It's like, that's what you're going to get. It's what you're going to expect.
And then finally, this one's a bit of an essay from Dave.
Okay.
Old folks moaning about young ones having a mosh, which happened at the Almighty, apparently.
Weird.
Apparently the lads weren't being stupid, just a bit bouncy in the pit. So there you go.
That's fine.
As we've just said, people who stand at the barrier and complain about being jostled.
Right, okay, yeah. He's with me on that.
Yep. Talking while a band is on, as, have a chat with your mate at the bar, dickhead. Absolutely. A sea of phones throughout the gig. Yeah. Folks rushing the barrier when the headline comes on. Roundhouse kicks and flailing arms. Yeah. Unless you're at a hardcore show, it doesn't need to be in the pit.
No.
End of. He says much more than he originally thought. I'm getting too old, obviously. As are we. Yeah.
But he's completely on our wavelength. A lot of the things that we said.
Yes, as a lot of other people have said. So thank you for everyone for all your comments. As we said, it kind of validates our rants and makes us feel like it's not just us.
No, it's not just us, is it?
Because we didn't want to be just coming across as dead complainy. Whiny, like all the complaints after download last year. It's not on a par with that, what we're saying. This is just generic.
Just things that irritate
us with 25 to 30 years of gig going experience and festival going experience.
Christ, it is about 30 years worth.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Almost 20, nearly 29 years since my first concert. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. That went off on a tangent.
Yeah. Riding the sea of pity.
Yes, and
lost in the chasm of time.
Yeah. But a lot of these are timeless. Apart from the phones thing, you remember the good old days when you couldn't even
lighters.
Lighters, yeah. Yeah, that doesn't irritate me when people light up their phones to recreate that. That looks quite nice, I guess.
Nah, it should be lighters. I'm old school.
I'm saying it should be lighters. Lighters looked better, but I think that looks quite nice.
I mean, you burn your thumb less on the phone.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, just on the relating to that as well, not just people who have phones, people who have iPads and they're recording it on their iPad. What even is that? I
Yeah.
can't remember where I saw that, but it happened. But yeah, just back to the good old days when you couldn't even take a disposable camera to a gig without having it took off you.
Remember when that was the biggest worry, that you were going to take a disposable camera in, or
Yeah.
a camera,
Yeah.
instead of alcohol? Places weren't bothered about you taking booze in,
Yeah.
but you couldn't take cameras.
It's so annoying. I think back to like all the gigs that I can't remember and I couldn't take photos of.
Mm.
But at the same time, you didn't have to think about, oh, shall I get a photo of this? Should I record this bit of the song? You were just there, weren't you, with you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a similar kind of thing, but mine was because I was always wasted. So I
Wow.
wouldn't have been able to operate anything anyway.
Wow. That's why I usually take the photos these days.
It is, yeah.
Are there any others we've missed?
I bet there are.
There probably are. So I don't know if we've missed enough to make another episode out.
There may well be another episode, and if enough people give us more things to rant about, then we'll do it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would say we could maybe do a poll or something and see what people's biggest gripe is, but I think we know that anyway. It's the talking thing.
Yeah.
Definitely. But we might take nominations and do a Dick of the Year that people can vote for at the end of this year. Not that we're copying off a certain Channel 4 programme or anything, but, you know, we'll rename it. Instead of Mosh, we'll merge Mosh and Dick, and it can be the Mick of the Year.
Mick of the Year.
The Mosh Dick of the Year. Anywho, slight tangent, just going back to what Kev was just saying about letting us know if you've got any more rants or anything. You can find us on Instagram, X, and Threads at Ready to Moshcast. So either pop a comment on the episode post or go back to the original question about what gets your gig goat, etc., or drop us a DM. And then you can find us on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube at Ready to Mosh. So again, pop a comment on Facebook or send us a message on there or whatever, and we can add to the ongoing. Well, we might make a spreadsheet out of it or something, probably.
I'll maybe do a nice little pie chart.
Yes. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed listening to our rants and hope you agree with most of them. If not, well, you know.
You're one of those people?
Are you one of them? Well, sorry, not sorry if we've offended you. All of that. If you have enjoyed listening to our ranting, then please give us a 5-star rating and a little review. That would be very lovely on wherever you're listening to the podcast. And we'll be back again soon with another episode. Stop talking, Moog.